Welcome back, dear friends, to this interesting lecture series on thermodynamics. This is a very vital topic which we will be discussing today, namely the steady flow energy equation. So, steady flow energy equation is nothing but the application of first law of thermodynamics to a flow system, and by flow system we mean an open system. So, what we are going to discuss is the general steady flow energy equation, and then we would be applying this steady flow energy equation to specific important thermal systems. So as I said, a steady flow energy equation is used for analysis of an open system. Open system meaning that the mass and energy both would enter or exit and or enter or exit the system. So we have studied the types of systems. In a closed system, we know that mass cannot enter or exit. In isolated system, neither mass nor energy can be exchanged with the surrounding. But in open system, there is a possibility of exchange of both the mass as well as energy, right? But we are talking about a very special type of open system, namely a steady flow system. So what is steady flow energy equation? So steady flow energy equation is nothing but an application of energy balance or the first law of thermodynamics to a open system. So what you see over here is open system diagram, a schematic of open system, which is enclosed by a control volume. So the dotted lines which you see over here is a control surface. The dotted lines are the control surface, and the area which is enclosed by that control surface is the control volume. And in the study and in your thermodynamic analysis for such a kind of system, such a kind of open system, we concern ourselves with the energy exchange across this control surface. So what you find is at the inlet, you find that certain mass is entering, which has a volume of V1 and a velocity C1. The pressure is P1 and it is elevated by some Z1 or Zi. Okay. So whatever notations we use, either we use I for inlet or 1 for inlet and 2 for exit or 2 for E for exit. Okay. So uh, we know that some mass is entering the section in at 1 which is the inlet section, and that mass would have a certain energy associated with it. And what is that energy? That energy would be the internal energy U1. What you see over here is the internal energy U1, the flow work P1 V1, which is nothing but the energy required to push in the mass into the control volume, which is flow work P1 V1. Then the kinetic energy associated because of the velocity of the stream entering the control volume, either it is represented by small v or c, so half c1 square if you like, and the potential energy is gz1, okay, where z1 is the elevation or zi could be the elevation. Okay, so this term is the energy entering the control volume. There is also certain energy in the form of heat which is entering the control volume, so which is q dot or dq by dt. So dq by dt or q dot is the energy which is entering in the control volume in the form of heat. So this is the energy in to this control volume, and energy out of this control volume is dw by dt, which is work transfer, which is double dot sh shaft work, or it is dw by dt, and the energy which is associated with the stream which is exiting this at the section shown over here at E. Okay, and I represented in my equation as 2. Okay, so this section is U2 plus P2 V2 plus Ke2 plus Gz2, which are the corresponding terms for internal energy U2, flow work P2 V2, kinetic energy at exit Ke2, which is nothing but half C2 square, and the potential energy associated with Gz2. Okay, so what we have written is an energy balance for a system. Now we are talking about a very special system. As I said, we are talking about an open system, hence the name is flow system. And we are talking about a special case of open system, which is steady flow system. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is steady means the properties will not change with respect to time. So you come back to the initial slide. What you mean is this U1, for example, this U1, which is the internal energy associated with inlet, that internal energy is not going to change with respect to time. Okay, means if time is equal to 0, that value would remain U1. If you take at time is equal to 1 hour, again you'll have the internal energy U1. After 2 hours also you'll have internal energy U2. Okay, if that is the case, you would say that the system is steady for 2 hours. Similarly, at the exit, if you measure the potential energy or kinetic energy, and if that value does not change with respect to time, okay, so the time considered, then we would say that that system is steady for that much time. Okay, so that is the meaning of steady meaning the values would not change with respect to time. So we are considering a very special type of open system, which is a steady flow system. Now, why do we consider this steady flow system, and why do we consider a steady flow energy equation? The reason is because most of the practical applications of thermal systems like boilers, steam turbines, they are operational for number of hours, and they are operational for number of hours uh, in a manner that their properties do not change much with respect to time. So for example, if you are considering a boiler, the boiler, if you exclude the starting time or the shutting down time of the boiler, if you exclude that period, you'll find that the boiler is operating at a steady flow system, as a steady flow system, and we can analyze the steady flow system. We can apply the steady flow energy equation to the boiler, and we would get fantastic results. Okay, similarly, we can apply the steady flow energy equation to steam turbine, to compressors, and many practical systems without much error. Okay, so that is the reason why steady flow approximation is used. Okay, so we need to understand that steady flow system, we assume that the properties at a given location will not change with respect to time. And the general equation is, as I said, it is m dot u1 plus p1 v1 plus kinetic energy plus potential energy plus the heat transfer, which is the inlet side, is equal to the work transfer plus the corresponding terms on the outlet side. Okay, the stream which is exiting the control volume. So as we said, the terms we need to be familiar with is we need to be clear about what is a flow work, which is entering and exiting the control volume, the internal energy entering and exiting the control volume, the potential energy at inlet and potential energy at exit, and kinetic energy at inlet and exit. Okay, the mass flow rate is important. The heat transfer rate and work transfer rate would also matter a lot. Another term which we come across generally is because we find that this internal energy and flow work, these terms, they come together, and as a matter of convenience, instead of writing U and PV always separately, it is generally a convention that we write a term called a specific enthalpy, which is a combo of combination of U plus PV. So wherever you come across these two terms, U plus PV, you would be substituting that with a much smaller term H, which is the specific enthalpy. Now, what would be of interest is to understand how the steady flow energy equation changes for specific applications. Look at the steam turbine over here. The steam turbine can be analyzed using the steady flow energy equation, as I said, because steam turbine behaves as a steady flow system. In the steam turbine, you know that because the time of expansion is pretty small, right? So we can neglect the heat transfer. So dq by dt in that equation, steady flow energy equation, can be assumed to be 0. So if you go back to the steady flow energy equation, so this term becomes 0 for case of turbine, right? Similarly, this change in kinetic energies ke1 and ke2, gz1 and gz2, which is a change in kinetic energy and potential energy, these terms can also be neglected for the turbine. So what remains is, because this heat transfer is 0, so what you would be left for the steam turbine is m1 m dot u1 plus p1 v1 is equal to dw by dt plus m dot u2 plus p2 v2. And you know that u1 plus p1 v1 is h1 and u2 plus p2 v2 is h2. So what happens is you get a very simple and very powerful expression for determination of work transfer in case of steam turbine. That steady flow energy equation for a steam turbine gets reduced from the general form to a very simple expression, which is dw by dt is equal to m dot h2 minus h1, because in most of the cases dq by dt can be 0 and the changes in kinetic energy and potential energy can be neglected. So this is an important finding and very important equation if you want to analyze the steam turbine using the first law of thermodynamics. Similarly, for the compressor, you know that compressor machine which is used in number of places, For example, this diagram shows the compressors over here used in the refrigeration system. So this compressor is a work absorbing device. Okay. So we need to supply electricity to this. And how much electricity do we supply? How do you measure that? How do you calculate it theoretically? So that can be calculated with this steady flow energy equation as dW by dt is equal to m dot into enthalpy difference. And how this equation comes? This equation comes again from the generalized steady flow energy equation. The generalized steady flow equation, if you substitute the heat transfer to be zero, again, if you go to this generalized steady flow energy equation, this is generalized steady flow energy equation, and this term heat transfer is zero or negligibly small, and the changes in kinetic and potential energy can be neglected. So again, this expression comes as m dot h1 is equal to dw by dt plus m dot h2. But in this case, this dw by dt is negative because compressor is a work absorbing device. Okay, so what you'll get is an expression of this form again, wherein you'll have the work transfer can be measured, the work input to the compressor can be measured as a difference between the mass flow rate and enthalpy difference. Okay, so this is an interesting steady flow energy equation for compressor. Similarly, a steam generator, which is an important thermal system in the power plants and process industries, you find that there is no work transfer. So the work transfer is zero. The changes in kinetic and potential energies can be neglected, and then the generalized steady flow energy equation gets reduced to a very simple form. That is, we can calculate the heat transferred to the boiler by finding the enthalpy difference of the steam which is exiting the boiler and the enthalpy of the feed water entering the boiler. So just by knowing the enthalpy of the feed water and enthalpy of the steam, one can calculate the heat transferred to the working fluid in the boiler by this powerful steady flow energy equation. So remember this beautiful steady flow energy equation for the boiler, which is dq by dt is equal to m dot into enthalpy difference. Okay, so this is an important steady flow energy equation for a steam generator or boiler. Another important heat exchanger used in industries is where you have an exchange of heat between two fluids, and then the heat which is given by the hot fluid, for example, can be calculated as again the enthalpy difference of the stream which is a cold stream, right? Or if you want to calculate other way around also, the heat taken by the cold stream is again the enthalpy difference of the stream which is the hot stream. And why is that so? Because in the heat exchanger, the work transfer is zero, dw by dt is zero, the changes in kinetic energy and potential energies can be conveniently neglected, and we get a powerful equation in the form of dq by dt as m dot delta h. Okay, so remember this expression for the heat exchanger. Another common device, which is an interesting device, is a throttling device. So the diagram shows some of the important throttling devices found in industry. For example, in your household refrigerators, you have a capillary tube, or in your refrigeration systems, large capacity refrigeration systems, you have thermostatic valves, okay, or a throttle valves, right? So these valves can be analyzed as a very with a very beautiful and simple expression, which is nothing but the equation which equates the enthalpies at the inlet and outlet. And why had that come? That has come because if you look at the steady flow energy equation general form, and if you look at these throttling devices, you can very well say that throttling devices does not produce any work. So dw by dt is zero. There is negligible heat transfer, so dq by dt is equal to zero. The changes in kinetic and potential energies are negligible. So if you write down these expressions, on this, substitute these values in the generalized equation, what you'll get is 0 is equal to m dot into h2 minus h1, or h1 is equal to h2. It means that the steady flow energy equation for throttling devices, nothing but it is an equation which equates the enthalpy before throttling and after throttling, right? So with this understanding that the steady flow energy equation is nothing but the application of first law of thermodynamics to a very special type of open system. Special type in the sense that it is an open system whose property does not change with respect to time. We can use the generalized equation to important thermal systems like boilers, compressors, steam turbines, expansion devices, heat exchangers, and all those things. Okay. So thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.